I started talking earlier about it's probably not a good idea to be around people at this point. It's I guess it's one of those things you have to be able to recognise some of the signs of where you're at, and that's those things are easy to recognise when you've been there before. For a large part of my early years, I worked in an industry that was high stress and I guess a lot of violence that had some significant impacts on my life. It took me a long time to realise the impacts that it had, and some of the signs of when things are probably heading in a negative direction. Unfortunately, a number of years ago, I went back into an industry that is, again, there's significant levels of violence and high levels of stress. And all those things seem to rub off on you, and you get to that point where you're just angry all the time. And I'm guessing part of that has to do with being in my late 50s, trying to figure where things are at when it comes to careers, life, and all those things that everyone has to worry about. So I kind of get to that point now where I understand that being out here is probably the best place for me at the moment. Time to think about where things are heading and what I need to do about it. So not looking for any sympathy, just just talking about it. I'm only raising some of this is because I can assume that the audience that'll be looking at any of my content will probably be of a similar age group, dealing with similar things. One of the reasons I started my YouTube journey is that some of the channels I subscribe to, I realised that a lot of those creators, similar age group, dealing with similar matters. And I guess there's these corners. I guess that you come together as a community and be able to share some of that stuff. For men, I guess, of my generation, the world has changed real quick. good and bad. But standard things for men is that we generally don't talk about mental health issues because historically, or it's just been perceived as a weakness, and that as men we can't be weak. Problem is, when you don't talk about it, it eventually catches up. And I'm sure that many people who might watch these videos will have been through divorces, mental health breakdowns, and that you kind of get to an age where you start thinking, oh, fuck this, I've got to try and get some shit sorted out. A lot of that comes down to is shit's not sorted out, you seem to be always broke. And broke, there can be two things. That can be emotionally, where you find it difficult to relate to the people around you, whether your friends, family or colleagues, your partner. And broke on the other side is the financial side, where you've just lost everything, and then that in itself creates issues and more pressures. So going back to where this started, I probably need a holiday. These times out on the bike are the closest I can get at this point. Well, I hope that little monologue hasn't turned you away from either watching these videos or subscribing. But to me, it's kind of cathartic. And for a small part of the audience that may watch this, it might strike a chord, and happy to talk about it in the comments.